Hi, how you going? Hey, listen. How can you create loving relationships in all areas of your life? Right? Your marriage mate, your girlfriend, your best mates, and not lose them. And also at work, loving relationships in all areas of your life. Is it possible? Or are you going to get in a relationship that's going to end up in divorce and you end up hating each other, going through court battles and losing everything? That's not a good idea, is it? But here's a question. How can you, and is it possible to attract the perfect marriage mate? The person that's going to stay with you for the rest of your life, never going to betray you, never going to leave you, never play around on you or anything. You'll have the loving relationship which makes a strong marriage. Strong marriages make strong families make strong communities. When I was a child, I was brought up in the old Maori society. Back in 1962, we never had a young girl that was pregnant or a solo mum. We had two parent families, our natural mum and our natural dad. We never had foster families, step families, gang families, grandparent families where the drug addict has handed the child to the grandparents because they're not capable of looking after them. And we didn't have gay families. What a magnificent community that was to live in, I'm telling you. The families were united, the community was strong, we had social, cultural, ecological and economic sustainability. Beautiful place to live, there was no violence, there was no crime, and in our old Maori society, in our minds, we believed that we were less than everybody else, that everybody else was more important than us. So we didn't have people walking around our communities looking down their nose at us, judging us by the car we drive, the house we live in, the clothes we're wearing, our academic credentials, whether we've got a uni degree or whatever, or whether we're rich or we're poor. We never had to put up with that in our beautiful old Maori society. So I'm going to teach you today some of the tricks, well not tricks, some of the secrets of creating long-lasting relationships and why relationships break down today. Alright, but the first thing I'm going to show you is this chart. By the way, this video I'm doing especially for Michelle Castle and her project Love. It's wonderful. So, you know, to have happy relationships, the first thing that you need is a success wheel. See there? You need loving relationships. And that's in all areas of your life. That's with your wife, your husband, your children, your friends. It's nice to have nice friends, isn't it? Loving relationships in all areas of your life, with your workmates as well. No violence, no nasty, cruel stuff. Then in the success wheel, you need also peace of mind, don't you? You need to have peace of mind that your husband or your wife's not playing around on you, that you're not going to go, not going to bust or anything like that, that your children are safe, they're not taking drugs. All these sort of things are part of the success wheel. What do we have there also? I can't read upside down. Financial freedom. All right, it's nice to have financial freedom, but not many people have it because we're all currency slaves. We're enslaved to currency and debt. If you can get out of that, you're right. All right. So financial freedom will make you happy, even just having a sufficient enough income to live life without all the financial stress. Because the financial stress will put stress on your relationship, which can cause it to break down, which is the case in many cases. It's the financial stress. Next one there, health and energy. If you've got a hip problem, or heart problem, or liver problem, or ulcers, your health's not good, is it? It's a bit hard to be cheery and loving and kind. So you need good health, good nutrition, eat the right foods, drink safe water, all these sort of things. And over here, what do we got there? Personal fulfillment. You need personal fulfillment, particularly in your relationships with your loved one, your partner or your husband or your wife, and with your children, right? You don't want a gap between, an age gap between you. You want to be able to go and play in the park with the children and do the silly little things they like to do, right? And same with your teenagers. Personal fulfillment, and in your work, you need to do a career that you enjoy, not be on the dole, or being put off work or being in a work environment where, you know, the boss is cracking onto you, you have to give them sex and if you want to keep your job sort of stuff. That's not personal fulfillment. You need personal fulfillment, or you need to change what you're doing. All right. So these are the 6 areas of the success wheel, and it's like a bike. If you have a broken spoke, it gets wobbly, right? But if you have 2 or 3 broken spokes, it's really wobbly, right? It's wobbly as. So what you got to do is identify where you got all these stress areas where things aren't working and fix the darn things up. Because a lot of people, they're too busy going to work, doing a job they don't like because there's no personal fulfillment, and then they come home, get drunk, get stoned, you know, start the party, end up having an argument with the missus and then bash her up. Not all people, this is what some of my rallies do back home. And that's what happens. That's not a life. All right, so you need to be able to identify where you've got these problem areas causing and affecting your relationships with your children, and their financial problems is a big problem that we need to overcome. All right, so does that make sense that you need to get your success wheel right, tighten up the spokes, and then we're away? So now I want to tell you how your mind works, right? The subconscious mind. Take a look at this picture. This is a ship. If you look there, you can see the captain of the ship. Now he's above the waterline. So this is like the conscious mind. The conscious mind is what we are in now. You can hear, perceive the things that I'm saying. And can you turn it down a bit, bro? So from there, with the conscious mind, it's like being the captain of the ship. We're consciously aware of what we can see around us, what we can smell, what we can see, what we can hear, all those things, right? Conscious activity. And then what we have in the ship there, below the waterline, subconscious, is the powerhouse that drives the ship, right? It's under the waterline, sub, and also the rudder that steers the ship. Now it's important that I teach you how your brain actually works. This is how it works. This is the conscious mind, right? And what does it say there? It says there, it does 200 calculations per second, 200 calculations per second, scans itself 8 to 12 times and comes up with one thought. And that's why we can only concentrate on one thought at a time. But it sends the thought down here to the subconscious, below the surface where the powerhouse is that drives the subconscious computer. And that's the subconscious. And the scientists say that it does 100 million calculations per second. Now how awesome is that, eh? 100 million calculations per second. But that's actually a load of garbage, because it does millions of times more than that, because the DNA in the human brain, they've worked it out. They've got 700 books that thick, that high, to work out how a cell works. But your subconscious mind works with the DNA all the time, right? So 100 million calculations is an understatement. But I'll work on that, because that's what the scientists say, all right? So 100 calculations per second, but look what it controls is 5 systems. First of all, in the yellow, it's got the memory systems. So everything that you've experienced from conception, even beyond, from conception till today, is in the subconscious mind. It's in there. Some of those memories are blocked by what we call falling dreams or scary dreams, and that inhibits us from bringing back the memory, but we can unblock all that. So, but the memories are still there, right, in the computer system, and right up to whatever age you are today. That's what we call the information database. Then the next one we have here in the orange is that's all your body functions. So that's your liver, pancreas, heart. It's not your conscious mind telling your heart to beat, is it? No, it's the subconscious making it beat all the time, moving the blood around the body, not the conscious mind doing it, right? Or your lymphatic systems or your energy systems is subconsciously controlled, right? So, and all the DNA. So that's your body functions. That's amazing, isn't it? And then what we got over here is the emotions. Okay, so when the emotions on the green there cut in, you don't consciously say, I'm going to have a fit, do you? No, because the thought goes down, this so-and-so just said this to me, And then you have the fit. Once it hits the database and the database says, I don't like this treatment, and then there's a reaction in the body where you get stressed or whatever, and then you get emotional, you go off your face. If you like, some people get violent. So the emotions are all in the subconscious, whether they're euphoric emotions or emotions about having sex, whether it's sadness, depression, whatever, the emotions are inside the subconscious mind or subconscious computer. Your energy systems, this is your lymphatic systems, this is your fight or flight mechanisms, like if you're walking through the bush in the dark and the bushes rattle, you get scared and it sets off your fight and flight mechanism, sends the blood in your body hundreds of miles an hour speed to give you the energy to fight or to flight. You take off. So the energy systems, also in the energy systems are the energy frequencies and vibrations that we send out through the chakras, and through these energy frequencies and vibrations, other people pick up on them. So we can transmit, they can receive, and vice versa. All right, but I'll come back to that in a minute. And then the fifth one of the subconscious you see there in the purple is our habit patterns. Why we have a habit of spitting the dummy when someone says something we don't like. Why we have a habit of smoking and we can't give it up until we conquer the subconscious, right? Because you consciously say, yeah, I'm going to quit tomorrow. But at the end of the day, you've had another smoke, right? Why can't people give up all these addictions to alcohol and drugs, sex, right? Pornography, gambling, gaming, right? The list goes on and on and on with addictions. So why can't people conquer them? Because they can't conquer the subconscious mind with the 5 systems of the subconscious. So the first thing you need to know before you can control a computer right is how the damn thing works. How to switch it on, how to access the information from the screen down into the subconscious or to the database of the computer and bring up the information, whatever the program is, whether it's Excel, Microsoft Word or whatever, you bring it up. But you have to come in from the screen, and that's like looking at the conscious mind. So we're going to bring to your conscious awareness, right, from your subconscious computer, from the 5 systems up to the screen, your conscious awareness right now, how your wonderful brain works. All right, and this is how it works here. Check this out. Now, out of those 5 systems, I'm only going to talk about 2. This one here, the red, is the energy frequencies and vibrations that we send out and transmit and receive. And then the database, because it happens at the database, right? And remember what this video is about. It's to support Michelle and her team that are doing Project Love. So I'm going to pick up a lot of issues around love, around relationships, which is part of that success wheel, right? So this is how it works. Here's a little child, and that child is 3. That child is treated in an unloving way over and over again, in an unloving way. Sooner or later, that child takes on a belief that nobody loves me, right? Nobody loves me. And at the moment the child chooses to believe that nobody loves me, split second, it's in program for life. Prior to that, that little child didn't have that belief, right? Now they believe nobody loves me, and they live their life with nobody loving them, or if they are being loved, in their mind, it's still nobody loves me, because that is the program inside that database in the yellow. The child programmed himself or herself, nobody loves me because of the bad treatment. When they program themselves like that, that's like getting that laptop right there and putting in 2 + 2 = 5. The moment you push enter, what happens? It's in, right? It's programmed for the rest of the life of that computer, is programmed that 2 + 2 = 5, which is correct or incorrect? What's the answer?
Correct.
Correct. That's right. It's correct. For the rest of the life of that laptop, the program says 2 + 2 = 5. So if that's the little child's mind, and The child, remember, the child programmed it, not the mum or dad, the child programmed it, that nobody loves me. It's in the database, it is stuck, and this is where the problem happens. All through their life, they're going to have this belief, and when people treat them in an unloving way, the thought comes in to the conscious mind. Remember the conscious mind? 200 calculations per second, it scans this out and says, oh, nobody loves me, sends it down to the database in the yellow, and it hits the database, and that triggers all 5 systems, right? Database, nobody loves me, so the body functions cut in, the same feelings the child had recur, the same emotions of sadness, hurt feelings and everything occurs, and then the energy, this is where the problem is. The energy frequency, the subconscious, to make it come about and recreate it like the program says, it sends an energy frequency out which says, nobody loves me. And it's like we have the towers up on the ranges here. If that transmitter was sending out a frequency 94.5, we pick up on KYFM on our radio, right? There's the transmitter, here's the receiver, our radio comes alive. So that transmitter sends out the frequency and we pick it up. Human beings operate the same way. If I send out an energy frequency that is 94.5, say, which is about nobody loves me, I'm going to send that frequency out. Who is going to pick up on it? Everybody with that frequency, right? That is oscillating on that frequency, 95.5, which in our case here we're talking about, is nobody loves me. And then if you've got this belief, you have a look at some of your friends. They actually have the same belief. And nobody loves them, but you love them because nobody loves them because you're oscillating on the same frequency. So you love them because you know the hurt they're going through. And when they talk about being unloved, you relate to it because they hurt, man, and you understand, you have the compassion for them, and hence you oscillate on the same frequency. So a lot of people with that same frequency are attracted to one another. You could be in a room, and what I do when I start seminars, I get everybody to stand up, walk around and shake hands with everybody and pick up whether they click with the person, and then I get them to all go and sit beside each other, and that changes the whole room dynamics, the energy frequencies in the whole room, and then they find out that they are actually oscillating on the same frequency. When I teach them to ask questions to draw out their emotions, to find out, oh yeah, that's where I spent the dummy, yeah, and then you oscillate on the same frequency. Hence why you attract people to you oscillating on the same frequencies depending on how strong your frequency is. Now, if you have a belief, nobody loves me, and what usually happens is that you meet someone and she's really attractive, right? She's at a nightclub, she's dressed up, dolly to the hilt, and whoo, just the physical attraction, magic, but it's actually the energy frequency which is a greater attraction, right? So you can have 10 really handsome blokes standing here with loads of money, and you have this monster on the end who's a gangster, and he's a cruel and nasty and mean. If you have a belief like that, there's a high chance you could feel his energy and relate to him and stuff the rest. And this is what happens in a lot of cases. The woman won't take all the really nice guys, but takes the mongrel on the end, because he's going to play out her beliefs and make life horrible for her. Because that belief that says, nobody loves me, is going to be recreated, because your subconscious mind is a computer and it doesn't know the difference. When it says 2 plus 2 equals 5, whether you know that 2 plus 2 equals 4 or not, if it says 2 plus 2 equals 5, which is being and nobody loves me, you're going to create it. You'll create it by the things you say to them, the things you do to them. You know, when you meet them for the first time, it's like magic, man. Oh, you're oscillating on the high frequency, you both are, you make love and everything, it's fantastic. And then you fall deeply in love, but then your subconscious computer and hers says, nobody loves me. So we start doing the things to create that by saying the wrong things, or they take it the wrong way, by doing the wrong things. Instead of giving the flowers and the chocolates and all the lovey-dovey things, we stop. And we start doing all the opposite things, talking about other chicks in front of her, eyeing up other people, making them feel unloved and unwanted, and all these sort of things. So we're sabotaging ourselves because the computer program says, I'm unloved. So it has to recreate it. That's it. That's the bottom line. A computer is very obedient. If it says 2 + 2 = 5, it's not going to give you a 4 because that's not the program. It's just going to tell you the truth. It's 5. So if you're programmed to be unloved, to be unwanted, to be hated, to be nothing, which is what a lot of people have got that belief, I am nothing. Do you know what it's like to have that belief? I had it. People treat you like nothing and you get emotional, man, and if you got all the martial arts experience like I have, you bash living daylights at them. That's what I used to do. But that's not good. That's not good for relationships. So when you understand how your subconscious mind works, how your conscious mind works, you send out the frequency, you attract it, you need to take responsibility for it. Don't go blaming them that they were horrible. No, they are playing your frequency so that you play out the program. Have you ever heard the saying, the universe supports you? Well, it does. Now here's the question I have for you. How long did it take that little child when they got so annoyed, so saddened by being treated in an unloving way, how long did it take the child to program themselves that nobody loves me? How long? 10 minutes? How long, if I put in there 2 + 2 and you push enter, how long does it take to program it?
Second.
Got it. That's exactly how long it took the child to program himself or herself when she got so emotional that nobody wants me, nobody loves me. Boom, that's in. And they're programmed for the rest of their lives until the hypnotist comes along to change it. No, that don't work. Right? Positive affirmations? No, that don't work. NLP? No. Suggestology, Suggestopedia? Psychology, psychiatry? No, they don't work. They all have what we call feedback because it recurs over and over again. You can go and see a psych, but then 2 weeks later you say, got the same drama because they didn't change the program. And the only person that can change the program is you. You, the little child who programmed yourself in a split second. It didn't take 10 minutes or 10 hours. It was a split second, which is all it takes to program that laptop right there. So, how long does it take to change that belief and that program? What do you reckon? A split second. A split second, folks. The answers are right in front of your nose. Right? So, if Daniel here put in there 2 + 2 = 5, enter, bang, it's in. Right? Now if he brings it up from the subconscious, from the database onto the screen, now it's in the conscious mind because we're consciously aware of it, right? If he does that and looks at it and goes, I don't like that program, man, delete it, doosh. How long does it take to delete it?
Another second.
Split second, right? Split second in, split second out. That's how it works, folks. That's how your brain works. And this is the truth. This is the reality of how your subconscious mind works, and only you can change it by bringing to your awareness what the belief is and going back to what was the date, or not even the date, you don't even need that, but to go back to where the child had the experience and went, nobody loves me. When you can pull that up, that's when you can delete it, right? If we have a Trojan virus in the laptop here, what are we going to do? You start it up, get into the database and find the darn program, right? Once you find it, only then can you delete it, correct or incorrect? Correct. And when you find it, how long does it take to delete it? Split second, you got it. And that's right in front of your nose, folks. When I teach you, I'll teach you what the energy frequencies are, what is making you emotional. If you work out what's actually making you emotional, you can ask yourself questions at that split second. Right? When they upset you, ask yourself. Don't get emotional, ask yourself, what is it I want to do right now? Right? And I used to go, I want to punch him right between the eyes, man. And then I'd ask myself, oh, okay, why do I want to do that? Because I'm angry, man. Oh, Why am I angry? Oh, because it's really this to me. Oh, why does it do that to you? Oh, because it's been like this all my damn life. Oh, so when did it start? Oh, it started back then. Gotcha. Got it. Delete. Sweet, right in front of your nose, folks. All right, I've been sitting this on 20 years, and I locked down the technology after 3 years of research on rich people, poor people, famous people I worked on. And I went 3 years of, because I'm an aeronautical engineer by profession, trained in total quality management. So I streamlined all the systems with the biofeedback systems to figure out how to delete in a split second these programs. And by the way, some people you can't get it because, see, Daniel here in my cars, he's Maori. Now, if his first language was Maori, the belief is it in English, right? So if I'm his coach using English, are we going to get that same program? No, because it's in Maori. So it's got to be a Maori talking to Daniel who speaks the Maori language and get the belief in the Maori language. To talk about it in English, it ain't going to work. It's like bringing up an Excel program and using a Microsoft Word to try and fix the damn thing. It's never going to work. You'll never delete it unless you bring up the original program. It's so simple. It's right in front of your faces, folks. That's what I'm going to teach you. Now, if you got rid of the belief, I'm unloved, and you changed it to, I am loved, what's going to happen now? You're going to send out an energy frequency that says, I'm loved. Who are you going to harmonise with? People who says, I'm loved too, man. So you attract all these lovely people in your life who love themselves, right? Because when you've got a belief, I'm unloved, there's no way on earth you love yourself. Oh, you can use affirmation programs all you like. But as soon as you stop using the affirmation programs, it goes back, the computer comes up, no, you're not loved. That's a load of rubbish. You're unloved. Plant out, send out the frequency, attract the garbage, get all emotional, boom, you're back into the same old rut and you lose the ones you love, which can be your children, which can be your wife, which can be your mother, your father, your granddad, your best friend that you loved all your life. Suddenly you lose them because you're oscillating on too high a frequency and you're trashing them, which you didn't really mean, but you've got no choice. If the computer says 2 + 2 = 5, that's it, brother. No choice. You can override it with affirmation programming, but the moment you stop doing that, the subconscious sends the thought down, being unloved, and there's no affirmation program there. Oh, this is what it is. Send it out. Unloved. People trash you. There you go. Lies in a rut again. So, the thing is this. When you go to the psychiatrist, psychologists, and all these other so-called experts, you experience what we call the fade back factor, where you fade back into the old behaviour, into the old habit patterns, and the same old emotional stress and unhappiness. How do you, they're curing the cause, they're curing the effect of the problem by sitting there being two big listening ears to draw you out your emotions and feelings, charge you $250 damn, and then next week you're back, you're spitting the damn dummy again because they haven't solved it. They haven't cured the cause of the problem. And I'm an aeronautical engineer. We only do two things. We prevent things from going wrong, and the other thing is we cure the cause of the problem. The cause of the problem of being unloved and trashing your relationships and losing the people you love. The cause is what you chose to believe as a little child, based on the environment you were brought up in, how cruel, mean and nasty your parents were, your friends, your relatives, the environment you were brought up in. And today a lot of children are brought up in broken families, and when you have a little child who's only 3 and then suddenly dad's not around, you know what belief they take on? I lose the ones I love. So who are they going to connect with in their lives? A lot of these ones marry someone with cancer, because that's going to play out the belief. They're going to lose the one they love. Right? I lose the one I love. I had that belief. I know when it happened. So, you know, and that was with the death of my dad. So, you know, these are very, very deep emotional beliefs that the little child takes on, but they send out the frequencies all through their lives, and then they get triggered with the beliefs, okay? So if you want to fix the problem with your beliefs and energy frequencies, with what you believe, if your relationships are falling in the heat, remember, with that success wheel, okay, with the success wheel, remember the 6 areas? Right. Now, you can be struggling in all the areas, all the different areas. You can have problems. What happens when you have problems in this area? Loving relationships. Right? That's when everything falls on a heap, doesn't it? That's when, and you see, we prefer to work with the digital generation, what we call the DigiGen. They're aged 6 to 16. Now, to them, the most important thing in their lives is their friends, correct? It's their friendships with their friends. So they're happy to learn from us how to improve those relationships. Now, when they become suicidal, a lot of them, it's because when their relationships fall in heat. So relationships is very important. In the 1929 Great Depression, there was a millionaire and he lost everything. Everything. His house, car, all their wealth, he lost a lot. And then he went home to his wife. Other people have heard the story. It's not my story. He went home to his wife and said, listen, love, I'm sorry, but... and because he's thinking all the worst, she's going to leave him more or less because he now can't support her. He's got nothing. And he says, oh, listen, I'm really sorry, but we've lost everything. And she says, everything? He said, everything. She says, the car, the house? Yes, everything. And what she responded changed his life. She said, oh, well, it's only money. Still got each other. Mate, turned his life, he said, she's still with me, man. And he just regrouped, rebuilt the business and became multi-millionaire very fast again because the loving relationship, the loyalty there, it wasn't based on money. It was based on love. And when you're surrounded with people who love you because you've permanently deleted all these programs linked to being unloved, and some of them, I lose the ones I love, nobody loves me, nobody wants me, I am nothing, I'm useless. If we have those multitude of beliefs, then you can guarantee when they're all playing out at the same time, you can lose a lot of people in your life. So we compensate, some of us compensate by living in a dream world, having a major goal in life, staying totally focused on and living it all the time. Or we're into our art because it brings us joy and happiness. Or we're into music, man, music. Why are so many people into music? Because it makes us happy. And most of the songs of music, what are they about? All these songs we've been playing here are about love, right? And that's why humans write songs about love, because a lot of us haven't got the love. So this is how it works, folks. Thank you very much for your time, and I'd like to thank Daniel and Cherie for participating. Thank you very much.